か。何これ。
Who goes there?
あ、来たわ、ホーキンス邸。
Nightmare again. I need a drink.
いや、だから酒を求めるな。朝だー、明るい。酒を飲む前にね、とりあえず話をしてるとこ行きましょうか。
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
朝になったばっかなんだ。
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
一回死んでるから。
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
どうしよう。とりあえず奴らのせいでひどい目にあった。
Flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
他に何か分かったか。多分これかな。
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins. And that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
どうやって死んだのか。正直には信じてもらえないけど。
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
いや、これ、伝えるか伝えないかでしょ？これはね、伝えない方がいいと思うんだ。
You're right.
何も知らない。
Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
はい。病院送りにならないように気
I'll
をつけ
do
ま
my
す。
best.
よし。とりあえず、じゃあ、一旦ちょっと気になること調べに行こうか。ここ行ける？行けるね。マジか。でもサンダーステに来
What
ちゃう
can
の
I
か。
do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
おお、素直に通してくれるんだ。ブッサイクだな。
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well.
なんで
look
キャ
who's
ッ
here.
ト
You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It
Sure.
would seem that you have much to tell me.
キャットの関わりがわかんねえ。
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
そう
Oh,
ね。
of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings.
だいぶ呆れてますね。
Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned.
うん。
You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
まあ、そうだな。目の前で先見ながら亡くなりました。これ嘘になるから話そらすんだもんな。正直に
He
伝えて
started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
まあ、喧嘩売るか。
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but
そう
I
なんだよ
had
な。ぶち
nothing
込まれ
to
た
do
だけだ
with
もんな。
it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
ほん。 この、まずじゃあ、空鬼の
Did
話
your
から聞きましょう
husband
か。
talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
FS のためってフランシス・サンダースのためってことか。あー、書いてたね。そうだよね。ちょっと待って。ちょっと手がかりから遡りましょう。どれだっけ？苦情の手紙、画商の手紙。あった。FS のための絵画。多分そうだよね。フランシス・サンダース。書いてあるわ。なるほどね。じゃあちょっとギャラリー探す前に調べろって言わば
Did
か
you
りの
really care for him after all?
拒絶の手紙。ああ。なるほどね。
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
ちょ待って。これをやったら、しかも再現シーン入るんだね。まずはこちら。
A house of artists. A house of artists.
芸術家の家だけれどもとか。おお、こっち。心理学。
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
友人と言っていい関係だったのだろうか。おお、あった。
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
売らせてくれなかった。
He finally won.
あ
Was
あ、
Sanders
それでか。
aware of his imminent doom?
心
She
理学。
first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
売るのを拒否したって言ってるもん。だいぶ、いやでもまだ生きてんのかなこの時には理性は。おああ、できた。
Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
嫉妬。不倫ってことこれもしかして。何
The Shambler. I need to see it.
ここにもクローゼットがあるな。なんなんなんかあったよね、今。
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
ああ、声があるのか。
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
なるほど。あ、これ蓄音機に入れると、ってことはいくつかあんのか。ここじゃない。としたらこっちっぽいんだよな。でも書斎ここかな。もう鍵閉まってるよね。ああ、ここだ。絶対ここだ。あれ違う。タッコってちょっと人の形に見えるんだよな。ほら、筋力だ。せいやゲットだぜ。
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Nice story. Bad lie. Learn how to dupe, Detective. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
いや、わかるね。
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
感じいいか?
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
話しかけんな。
An old diary.
牧師夫人の日記。奇妙な夢についてなんか書いてると。ほうほうほう。
Strange.
お、サ
For
ラホーキンス。
months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
なんで譲ったのただで。売る気がないのに。はい、これ。読むべきか。ここは探索者魂で読んじゃう。いやー、これ、来ましたね、エルダーサイン。よいしょ。マレウス・ベスティアルム第2巻。実在するような気がして。うわっ、何？キャラクターポイント振ろうかな。あと2ポイント。調査振ろう。よし、OK。行くぞ。待ってろよ、そら鬼。